what do you think about women being a part of these dating discussions if um they kind of like muddy? Do you think that like there are like women that kind of parade themselves as um advocates for like better dating for like everybody and like men, and they have their own agenda? Like, do you
Mhm.
think that most of them are like that? Do you think that some are like that? Like a considerable like.
I know it. I know what you're asking, and I hope the ladies are listening in the chat. And this is kind of like a vicious circle that a lot of women run into when they decide to get into these spaces. And the reason why I say that is because I think most women who have the intention of not necessarily being male advocates, but just healthy relationship advocates, they come in these spaces for the right reasons. And I think that the majority of them, their goal is to talk to women, right? They start off talking to women, but then when you start talking about taking accountability, you may be the issue. This is where you need to improve. You need to lose weight. And you're saying this to women that get offended about that. Then those women that are in these spaces, they don't have a choice but to start talking to men. So it's like, you want to help women, but they won't acknowledge it or accept it. So now they have to come to these spaces and continue their message. But the backlash that they get is that the people that are following them are majority men. And if the woman is attractive, then people are going to make assumptions by saying, hey, this she only getting all these subscribers because she's attractive. But that should be a positive for that particular woman, because she is supposed to be the, I guess, the picture of a healthy, let's say, black woman, right? So she can't help attracting men based off of her looks. And I know sometimes that may seem like, I see guys say that it looks like they're being chameleons or something like that or whatever, and they're just in here to get the money. But at some point, they figure out that, man, I tried to talk to women, they're not listening. So now I just got to continue my message. And from that alone, it draws more men because I'm telling the truth. Right. So they don't, it's kind of tough for them to be in these spaces, but I don't think all of them, the majority of them are definitely in it for good. But some women, you can kind of tell they come out there, titties out and stuff like that. It is what it is. But for the most part, I mean, most of these women are gorgeous. They wouldn't be on camera if they wouldn't. And I think that's one of the pluses to being a woman in these spaces, because that garners more attention and more likes, subscribers, and views. You can't do nothing about her attractiveness. Hell, shit, man, when I first started, I used to get DMs from women, and it was like, man, you look like you work out. It's like, you gonna do any shows with a tank top on? And I'm like, and my daughter seen that. I was like, hey, yo. So I had to start being more vocal. I had to be
Right,
more
right,
vocal,
right.
like, hey, man, my girl right here, So yeah, so I know that if I come on camera and I'm flexing and shit like that, it'll be some more women on here, what I'm saying, trying to look at your boy or whatever.
Hey,
Not
hey,
saying
the message get delivered.
the message gonna get delivered regardless, but that's what they've run into. So they can't help, their looks, they can't help their message. But I think, and I'm not trying to speak for those women in these spaces, I think that they would love it if the majority of their subscribers were women, because what they're saying is true. But sometimes when you're talking to men, it don't help us, because we're saying you need to be talking to women, but they can't talk to women because women call them pick me's. So it's like they
I
don't they're
agree.
and I feel for them in these spaces, because it's really not much they can do, because you're going to catch hell from guys who say that they're just chameleons and they're in for a money grab. And then they try and go back to the women, and the women are calling them pick me's for telling them to take accountability. So they're kind of at limbo right there, so
It's
they
a
just got
double
to,
bind. It's a
it's
double
tough.
bind. Damned if
It's
you do,
tough.
damned if you don't.
And I get it. And it's the same thing that, black men in these spaces go through. I go through it as well. People always remind me, like, man, your message is completely different than everybody else's. But when black women see it, they put you in the same group because you're a black man with a mic. And I
Yes.
can't do anything about that. So I just have to
That's the
continue
truth.
doing what I have to do and just move forward. And that's what those women are doing as well. They can't stop their message because some of these women are very successful in these YouTube spaces and they have great messages. But I think they would
I
love
agree.
it. I think they would love it if it was just more women listening to what they had to say. But women like to hear things that only benefit them. And that's why you see the soft girl stuff, you see the sprinkle, all these types of women, they tend to go viral. And there's a lot of women over there because it's like, use men, get what you want, and you're not the problem. Who don't want to hear that? You know what I'm saying? Like who don't want to hear
it's a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
I mean, who don't want to hear that? Nobody want to sit over. Hey, ladies, you need to take accountability. When this woman is saying, "Hey, you attractive enough, even though you 300 pounds, you can still get that man that make $1 million."
Stop lying, bro.
Hey, what can you do? So